famous Paris. Honored to be here. You never thought you'd get to see Paris, eh? But yeah, we're taking a look at the beautiful Paris Eiffel Tower. Paris, Texas, obviously, not Paris, France. But I figured it'd be fun to chat with some people, wait for some people to come in, take a look at the Paris Eiffel Tower, also take a look at the Veterans War Memorial. Not much to see other than the beautiful tower with the cowboy hat on top of it. Glad I did. No one, nowhere. Hey, there's your comment on Maryland's video. I appreciate that. Quoting Will Smith. Respect. Hey, Scientology up north. Please subscribe to her. Nice to have you. That's so cool. Didn't know that was there. Yeah. I think there's Laura DOS. What's up? Nice to have you. I got the cowboy hat in the top. This is the, believe this is the second Eiffel Tower in North America. For some reason in Gomez Palacio in Coahuila in Mexico, they also have an Eiffel Tower. You see the big red cowboy hat in the top. Can't have her talking about you like that. Thank you. She is vile. She's really beating a dead horse. There's only so much you can say about it. And I'm like, Jesus, how much more content do we need to go back and forth with? My God. It was just like, and then she's going to have somebody involved in the news talk about it. All right, I enjoyed that guy. That was actually the first half of the interview. Is kind of fun. Paris is so romantic, isn't it? This is a beautiful Blue Star Memorial, though. This is kind of cool. It is getting a bit old. There's just not much else for her to talk about. I'm like her. So she was successful in her 4-day war to get a copyright strike, and I assumed it would be copyright strike because I didn't even edit it, comment on it or whatever. Well, I assumed maybe it wouldn't, but I thought there'd be a good chance. So it finally did get taken down, but not until 3,800 people saw it. So I think it achieved its goal. You know, what's funny is she did a whole video then analyzing. Hey, pardon me. Sorry, it's friendly. She did a whole video analyze. This is cool. Korean War, World War II, all the names. She did a whole video analyzing my video. I could have done a copyright strike. Of course I'm not, but I could have. She was just using my stuff the whole time. But I don't care. That's the thing. There's a general understanding that if the material is about you, this is in the, bigger channels and political channels too, you can generally use their thing because they're invoking you. If Ben Shapiro talks shit about Candace Owens, he'll use a clip, he'll take a part of Candace Owens' clip, and that Candace Owens will take a part of his clips. So, if they're both involved in the topic, then it's a very different situation. But what's good, Tam? You're everywhere. Yeah, I'm actually probably gonna come back and be around Memphis, Boss Doc. So let's connect. I think it's still at your email. I meant to respond to it. Can't bear to listen to Maryland in the echo chamber. Yeah. That's it. Doggy, and you okay? Yeah, we're both okay. It's funny. I appreciate people asking me about that. And it's interesting to see perhaps different people deal with things in different ways. There's a lot of wind. But I didn't feel hurt by it or really shaken up or traumatized by it or upset by it. But perhaps the way that I processed it, because I kept having to confront myself with the material, because Marilyn would go on and on. You have to see what Marilyn says, and then Aaron endorsed the video on her stream, and then Aaron talked about me again. And so you're kind of, in order to talk about it, which is interesting to discuss, you have to confront yourself with the conversation, the content. And it didn't, I mainly found it very interesting. It's interesting being in the middle of it and seeing other, usually you just spend your time watching YouTube. It's interesting being on YouTube. So it's more, fascinating to me. But I think consuming a lot of it, it made me sleepy. I wonder if that's the way, I process things. I don't really feel it didn't really ruin my day or make me sad. I do wonder, I slept, when I got back from the trial, I slept, 10 hours, and then I took, a 4-hour nap. The next day, I slept, 9 hours and also took a 4-hour nap. And now I'm fine. But I do wonder if the sleep is some subconscious way of digesting it. I like the interview with Toddy and Mrs. J. Thank you. Yeah, there's an interview for, I think it's called The Argument with Toddy Wunschkip. I meant to post it and give people, these are some cool old Army vehicles. This must have been maybe Vietnam before that. Cool. M211 prototype. Cadillac Deluxe. 70s. Reserves well into the 70s. Korean War. Extensive service in the Korean War. It's a Korean War vehicle. But yeah, no, check out the Toddy argument, Toddy Wunschkip, and I meant to post it as well. She's so petty. She's, yeah, not gonna disagree with that. Not at all. But yeah, I don't know. There's only, I mean, I'm impressed with her ability to talk about things for 2 hours. Like, I'll probably sign off soon because I don't have more than 10 minutes to really discuss it. You know. What am I going to say? And, you know, it's fun for 2 videos, but then eventually you tune out, right? So, we have to tune out on our own self. I guess I could do that. But yeah, you know, it's interesting. I'm starting to change my mind about coming on the 14th. It's because some would argue that Aaron made a veiled threat in some capacity, saying we'll roll out. He's welcome to come on the 14th, roll out the red carpet. So now I'm tempted to, just to piss him off. I think I probably will show. I'm not positive, but I think America will do very well to show up on the 14th. Just to see them go off again. It's funny. Talk about bull baiting. You know, it's funny. A Reddit comment was making a comparison of Marilyn with Jenny Linson, and she's the one that accosted Marty Rathbun, and almost said, it was almost like verbatim the similar thing she said that Marilyn said. Why are you even here? What's the whole point of your life? Why are you even here? You shouldn't even be here. And I'm like, wow, it's remarkably similar language and remarkably similar volume and style. You know, get very close to your face. Don't let the other person talk. I don't know what it achieves. Maybe it's to shake somebody up. You'll piss someone off anyway, not meant negativity towards you. Yeah, no matter what. Hey, Amy, nice to have you. So yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure that's touching Paris, right? Beautiful Paris. We'll go downtown. We were walking. We were going around, hanging out in some of the lakes, but see what the dog wants to do. There's not a ton today. The only real thing here is the Paris Eiffel Tower. 8 hours, keep being you. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Hey, Kat, been meaning to respond to you. Dodge, haven't caught you in a live in a while. How's it going? Good, thank you. Hasn't really been a need to have a live. You could analyze the video until the cows come home, I guess. She's such a bully. You're a nice person. She is not. Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate that. She's having fun with it. You know, I don't know what else she talks about. So she can talk about that for a solid hour and a half, which I'm impressed with. Seems like Marilyn has made assumptions without really understanding you in the slightest. Sure, and they're so obsessed with my history. You know, how many times, like the length of my jobs or whatever. And like, you know, I mean, a lot of them were short stints. One of them I got fired from. You can look it up in Wyoming. Yeah, this black bag flew out of my car. In Wyoming, there was just a firing, a mass casualty day, and they downsized their news station, and so a bunch of us just got fired. And then one of them in Maryland, you know, that it was my own fault that I got fired, but it was because I was bad at editing. So it wasn't like because I was a bad journalist or, I didn't work well with others or anything. I was just bad with computers, always have been. And then I transitioned just to be an anchor. But, I got fired for not being able to use Adobe, not being able to turn around the stories quickly enough and use Adobe Pro. Because it's weird, as like in smaller markets too, as like a reporter, you have to do everything, which is why the news industry is really falling apart. You have to be a reporter, you have to edit the video, you have to find the stories, you have to get the people to approve the stories, then then you have to operate the camera. You have to point the camera successfully at you and the person, but set up the shot beforehand, because you're on the other side of the camera, and cameras are big, so you can't even there's no way to like flip it and see like a flip screen. And then you have to do that. It's constant, it's just your reporter with constant pressure. It's not a fun gig at all. And then you have to turn around and edit it. And this is probably 4 years ago. They also have bad editing systems because the budget isn't big enough for Adobe, so they have like a knockoff, and then they have Windows XP or whatever. It's like a perfect, really, really good. But she was very obsessive about all my backgrounds. I never said I was like a super accomplished journalist. I just said I had some experience and some training to be able to analyze court in some capacity. I never said like, oh my God, the most famous journalist, the most accomplished, a pedigree journalist of all time. Never once did I say that. Yeah, I bounced around from starter markets to starter markets, which is kind of normal. A lot of people bounce around at different starter markets, and some continue in the news scene, and most of them don't. Only about 20% of the people I worked with still work in TV news, and those people who are a lot more studious than I was, but they were not fun gigs. This is a lot more fun. So, and just don't explain yourself. Yeah, no, I know I don't have to. I know, but if she wants to watch this video, those are my easy explanations. Give me a moment, guys. Hold on, don't leave. We're gonna go to the park, but the dog might be a little tired out. We'll see downtown Paris. Appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Smell, but they're still there. And no one wants that in their daily routine.
To be clear, I don't care about your past jobs. This isn't a job interview. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think anybody really cares. I got into TV news late. I was probably like 30. I've done some different types of careers. Hey, Jennifer, thanks for all your defensive scene to your various comments. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Do some oldies. It's only a quick 7-minute drive. A lot of wind today. Hopefully you can hear me. Have we ever given dog a name besides dog? I still love dog. Yeah, I mean, I don't even... His legal name is Name. I don't really call him Name. And usually... Like, I'm so libertarian, I always felt like branding a species with a name is anti-liberty. So, I say sounds that I just call him. I think he probably thinks his name is Hey, because I'm always like, hey, 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 hey. But I have just random sounds that I call him, and he doesn't have any name, really. He doesn't respond to any name. I mean, he does, with the sounds I make, he'll respond to it. But I love you. I love how you handled her, unbothered by a pearly tantrum. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, how else are you gonna react? I mean, they want evidence to say, look at what an unstable person this is, and this is why Aaron is being attacked, and he's being attacked by a bunch of, by an unstable mental case, whereas the reality is quite the opposite. The people who aren't aboard with him 100%, he has his own mental cases attacked for him. Sends them out, gives them the commands, because again, Aaron endorsed that video not once but twice, so he approved all of Maryland's actions. Hey Aaron, if you ever watch this, why don't you just show Maryland's video on your stream? Why don't you do that? You seem really proud of it. So why don't you just show it yourself? If anybody just wants to go to Aaron's chat, don't say anything mean, but just say, hey, why don't you put up the video? And I could put up another video too. I might, just because it's fine, not going to. Wait, I have another YouTube account from like my news days. I could always just put it up there. I could always just link it. We could keep playing this game. I'm not. That's too petty. Yeah, you're very classy, very demure. Thank you. Great reference. No, Cheryl has not released her video. Doubt she ever will. Because it made him look stupid. And, Maryland thought for her audience, and her audience did like it. Most of her audience, they cheered for her and everything. But, no, Cheryl has not released hers. And hers is probably the loudest, I would argue. Maryland's just mad at your trust fund baby, no real money at all from it. Like barely enough to like stay at motels and scrape by. You handled everything gracefully, in my opinion. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that, I mean, they're allowed to be angry because of their friend. It was just kind of silly to me more than anything. My mom thought, I think I mentioned that, but my mom, like, she overheard it and she thought like a 15-year-old girl was yelling at me. And she's like, "What? Is there like a 15-year-old streamer person?" Wow. I'm like, no, that person's in her 70s, right? Or 50s, not 70s, 50s. 20 years older than me, right? She is 70, I'm 90. Trust fund was big envy. I thought about that energy, really. Yeah, I mean, I'm very blessed. I have the luxury of time to really kind of figure out things and see what works and what I cover and what doesn't work. And nobody's breathing down my neck. And the traditional gigs are tough because you're always at the beck and call of your boss, right? You're always at the beck and call of a news director or something. And I only want to cover the things that I like. And really, the two things I really like are, especially in terms of news, are Scientology and elections. So, there's a lot of, especially local, there's a lot of really boring stuff. This is a good song. Back and cold. Too bad we're going the opposite way for Route 66. We're heading home. We're slowly going east. A little more lush here, a little more grass. Reminds you that you're almost in Arkansas. And to motor west. Travel my way. The highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Just saying, that person in Maryland interview, we have the same music taste. He was talking about Connie Smith. And I'm like, I love Connie Smith. Cincinnati, once a day. In another world. More than 2,000 miles on the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Goes through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City. Looks mighty pretty. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Get hip to this timely tip when you take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Oh, there's a trail here. I forgot. We'll do it next time. Can't believe she brought up the iced tea string with you in it. Well, she could get her stuff taken down for that. Didn't she say that? They filed a strike against her? Yeah. She said the original YouTube thing is filing a strike. Look at this. Yeesh. Come on, man. Should I Good Samaritan this? I'm going to Good Samaritan this. I don't know who this is, but let's chill. That California trip. Your kicks on Route 66. But yeah, the rap school thing. I mean, that's I don't think she thought it was, but it's a fun thing to look up if you want to look it up. It's Ice-T's Rap School on YouTube. That's never anything I was embarrassed about or ashamed about or anything. It's not like I'm going to brag to people. Not that there's anything to brag about. It's not like I'm going to tell people, oh my God, I was on a reality show. Look at me. That's not my bag, man. But yeah, it was fun. It was 20 years ago at this point, and you can watch it all on YouTube if you just search Ice-T's Rap School. And Ice, the rapper, went to our prep school and taught me and 7 other kids how to rap. And we are all forced to be interviewed, and I didn't expect to get chosen because I was such a weird kid, and I really didn't like rap, but I was wearing like a double-breasted 50s suit, and I said I liked 50s music, and they're like, all right, this guy's perfect. He's so weird. Can we see Dog? Yeah. I'm going to try to get him out. Come! I watched it last year. Cool stuff. Hey, Good boy. We're in downtown Paris. We are in Paris, Paris. I watched it last year. Cool stuff. I think Dodge want to advise you on the new foundation thing. Yeah, LOL. Sorry, Style. I need to get back to you, by the way. Remind me. Oh, Sigma and I. It's our code for squirrels. Oh, it's a cannon. Just start speaking Japanese is our little code. Bobby, Darren, and Akin Cole. Hell yeah. Probably are my favorite crooners from that era. Good taste. They're two of my favorites as well. Just tuned in and could not figure out how you had flown your dog to Paris. Right. Pretty amazing. Someday, my aunt does that. My aunt is super rich, and she has a purebred dog, but she flies her dog to Europe. And I'm like, I asked her how much that was, and she said it was like, and the dog is big. The dog is bigger than my dog, and my aunt was like, it's like $10,000, which is crazy. I occasionally, there is a semi-private company called JSX, which flies domestically to some places. And I've taken that's expensive too. That's like, not nearly as expensive. It's $600, but you have to buy a ticket for your dog. So it's like $1,200 for one way. But when I've moved somewhere for new jobs or whatever, I've taken the dog on JSX. Although they cut their route, they used to have a Dallas to New York route, which is great, and now they cut that one. And I probably would have used that every so often. But they cut the Dallas to New York one, which sucks. And so then I had to go to Florida. But they still have a New York to Florida one, which is nice. I've taken it. They travel in the cabin. Yeah, small dogs can. Dodge, if you're really in Paris, I'm in the south of France near... Oh, cool. Cambais near Saint-Tropez. Very cool, right on the ocean, I suppose. He doesn't like this material for some reason. It like upsets him. She should take a private charter flight. Yeah, those are even worse. So there's different levels. There's like taking like a super private, which might be like 30,000 or something. But she does it as close as she can get. Where is we are in Paris, actually. Beautiful Paris. Beautiful Paris. Paris, Texas. It's a song. We're not the jet set. We're the old Chevrolet set by George Jones and Tammy Wynette. And they talk about the beautiful vacations they're taking in Rome and Athens and Paris. Rome, Georgia, Athens, Tennessee, Paris, Texas. Paris, Texas, the movie. I've heard, right? There's a movie, Paris, Texas, isn't there? I forgot about that. Right. This has some claim to fame. It's pretty. It becomes you go more east and things become more lush. There's more plants and trees and stuff around. Somebody's kind enough to send me 2%. Thank you. Here's my donation to your trust fund, kiddo. LMAO. That's funny. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. Love the oldies always. Word. We'll do an oldies road trip probably tomorrow. We're going to go to further in Arkansas. This is a really nice, slow way back because I don't have much I need to do. I'm going to cover the Aaron Spencer trial in Little Rock. Or not trial, but there's a hearing, which might be interesting. He's the guy that's on trial for killing somebody who is about to probably rape his daughter. It's kind of a crazy story. But there's a hearing, so I'll go to that. But other than that, it's going to be really nice and slow. I'll cover the Michigan primary. I'll be there by early May. But we're taking the off the interstate route. There's going to be a lot more nature, open space, quiet rural towns. This isn't even really a town. This is more of a small city. It's 20,000 people. I'd consider that a city. Some would consider it a town. But it's nice. This is a very much out of the way off the interstate route. And we have a little house near nothing else. Hopefully we'll check it out on the live stream. But it's just near a big plot of nature in the woods. So very different than we've been staying in all these cities. Cairo, Illinois. Do an oldies road trip at 5 p.m. Central. Cool, so I can join. I appreciate that. I'll be at work till 4:30. It's very kind. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Usually that's when we do it. Late afternoon. Thank you, the one person super chat. Versailles, Indiana, right? There's a Versailles, Indiana. Well, in Ohio, they have all the, there's like a Lebanon and a Palestine. You remember East Palestine, quite famous. I went down there and did a little bit about that as well. Oh, look, it's Dodge. Wow. Hey, Donna, thank you for all your comments in various places. Very, very kind. I appreciate your support. You've been a consistent supporter, so it means a lot. But yes, we're walking again. Hard to believe. That's a funny thing, too. There's so many restaurants. You look at Google Maps. Google Maps, there's literally 2 other restaurants. And then none of them were like sit down and serve restaurants. And then they're like, oh my God, he's not eating. How crazy is that? I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to eat if I'm going to walk into Cracker Barrel and get like accosted again. I even said that. I'm like, I could leave. I don't want to make you guys uncomfortable. I think there's a Cairo GA. Okay, interesting. Watch Welcome to Plathville. I think the family's there. I didn't know that one. Huh. Got your back, Dodge. You had a low back, bro. No, I have a car this time. She did also sit and figure out the car situation. Like I'm in transit. I'm not at home, but I left the car and paid for airport parking. I should say that when I asked for money, I also, because Dallas is freaking expensive. I should have been like, also, I need money for airport parking. Because it was a lot. It wasn't that much, but it ended up being like $25 a day in Dallas. And I flew out of Birmingham before for Aaron's first thing. And that was, Birmingham was super. It was like $7 a day for parking. Very big difference. But I should have asked for that. But that's how I do it. So I'll park at the airport. I'll go to rover.com, leave the dog at somebody's house for a couple days. He starts to get lonely. Usually the day I come back, if a car goes by, he'll get excited and leave the couch. It makes you sad if I leave him for too long, he gets forlorn. Then I fly in. And then I take an Uber or I took a regular taxi to my Airbnb. I got a little Airbnb. It was nice. I had a little house. It wasn't too expensive. I love how she insulated that you didn't have transportation, car, etc. You travel all over the country with your car. Right, exactly. So I have a car. One commenter have been like, he lives in his car. I don't live in my car. I stay in lodging areas. Some nicer than others. This time the lodging is nicer because the region is so cheap. It's like I'll really stay at like really bad motels if I'm in an expensive region. Like Los Angeles, the only affordable place you can stay at is a Motel 6. But you're in eastern bumfuck Texas. The world is your oyster, and we'll do some time in Memphis too, because it's another city that's just so damn cheap with such good food too. You can just eat your way through Memphis. So we'll probably hang out with Boss Talks. Smelling some barbecue. She's such a toad, yeah. And the other thing is that they kept encouraging me to feel bad about my life. That was their big thing. Like, you should hate yourself because you don't have a girlfriend, you're not married, you don't have a traditional job. It was all like, this is how we can prove that you're a loser by our standards. I've just been addicted to this lifestyle. I dated somebody. Many of you saw her. She's very sweet, cool, but and I told her from the very beginning I didn't know I was hardwired. Unlike Aaron, I don't know if I was hardwired for dating, and so just be aware that I might not be into it. Let's go very carefully. And I just figured it wasn't, even being in one place for a moment or two, just wasn't what I liked. I just maybe to an unhealthy degree, and I'm very social, but I value my own company very much. Maybe that's how you could remain even keeled. You have a lot of time to digest it by yourself, look at all angles, whatever. But this is fun to me, man. Eating good food. Dog spends most of his day outside instead of like most dogs. You go to work and you drop them off. And, they're a little constrained. So, I don't know. It's a weird addiction, but I just love staying out, most of the day outside all day. And I like new food and new nature, new places, new towns. It's endlessly fascinating. I'm an observer. I love to observe things, but they really want me to feel some type of shame about it. Hey, Dodge, it's Rika. There's no right or wrong way to do your life. Amen. Thank you. You do what makes you happy. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Yeah, and thank you. And I know I don't owe anybody an explanation, but it's just to talk about out loud once other things have been mentioned. I appreciate that, Rika. Thank you. Read my email. It's further to other people. Thank you, Annabella. I forgot you sent me an email. I'll make sure to respond to it. Apologies. That's the low comments. I'm so sorry, Dodge. Thank you. Stay somewhere nice and on a room service, harassment free. Yeah, funny. Yeah, I mean, I've never been harassed at where I'm staying or anything. Or you have a great life. Who cares what her core values are? Yeah, I see. Thank you. That's very kind. Very, very kind. A very nice super chat. That's very sweet. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone, and your financial info is private. Right. I mean, most people would just say this is not anybody's business. It is really not. I've always been radically open. My general rule of thumb is if you ask, I will answer no matter what. I've always been like very not embarrassed, very non-self-conscious. Have you spent significant time in Boston, Dodge, this cat? Yeah, I mean, I went to graduate school for journalism in Boston, Emerson. So I spent a year, and that was a year program. I spent about a year there. And then I went for like a Karen Reed hearing around my birthday, and I saw my old college friend who lives in Boston. We had a fun time. Yeah, I'll probably go to, if there's some more Karen Reed stuff, I'll probably be in Boston once the weather gets warmer. The dog likes Boston a lot. It's nice and tight, very walkable in that regard. Although he doesn't like the food. He's not a big seafood guy. I like the food in Boston, though. Memphis, time. Hell yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Nice to have you. A wanderer? Sounds great. Yeah. There's a song. Look up The Happy Wanderer. It's kind of story of my life. I can't come up with trials, says Cat Ocean / court dates when real world stuff is happening. But whenever Scott's next appearance is, will you be there or not? I will not be there for his next hearing. No. Once they schedule a actual trial date, then yes, I will be there. Once the trial happens, I wonder if I'll get a similar welcome from DOA. I'm sure I will. But once a trial happens, then yes. But no, I'm not going to fly out just for a hearing. And it was kind of dumb to fly out for the first hearing in January. I'm a musician, Dodge. I get you. Rumball. Hey, thank you for all your support, too. I've seen your comments, too. Roam away. Thank you. You have found a bunch of us who get you. I appreciate that. And appreciate what you're doing and how you explain things. Thank you. That's it, right? It's like, all right, I got a good cadre of people who I'm of some use to in my pocket. That travel with me, that support me, that make you realize that I am some use to somebody, Somebody up there likes me. And that's all that matters. Do you like escargot? Hey, blah, 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 attorney at law. Yeah, I love escargot, actually. I'm a big French. Yeah, speaking of Paris, I'm a big French. I love French bistros, which is ironic. I was thinking, is there a good, because it's Paris, Texas, is there a good French bistro? But there is not. French bistros usually have to go into this. Canadians, even outside of Montreal, kick our ass with French bistro, because of course they have a French population. But like, you can go to Winnipeg and eat at an amazing French bistro, and like Calgary has, it's that French influence. 2026 work looks different these days than it did 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, and there'll always be, especially of a previous generation, of people who feel, and I understand this, who feel if you don't have a full-time job, you're not deserving of respect or whatever, and you don't live that traditional lifestyle. The thing is, there's a big movement, of course, to limit the work week, to limit work hours. Finland has already, I believe, employed the 4-day work week. There are other nations in Europe that have 8 weeks of vacation versus, I remember working, TV news is the worst because there's no unionization. So I remember my first year of TV news, I had to work on Christmas, and for the entire year, I wasn't allowed 1 day off. If I had a sick day, it was an unpaid day. But like you weren't even allowed sick days. You could have a sick day, it was unpaid. But that was about it. So especially in the U.S., compared to other developed countries, the commitment to the Industrial Revolution work schedule seems to never die, but it's dying in other locales. And that's a bigger, theoretical viewpoint that you could have. Right, Scandinavia, I bet you do. Denmark, I have 6 weeks paid. Right. One can only dream of that in America. So that's the thing. It's like there's never a middle ground. It's like, all right, if I was if I would really did everything right, and Lord knows I did not, I couldn't edit in time, and I could have just never mentioned Scientology. But if I did everything right, it would be like, all right, I could probably like get a job in Houston. It would be the same 9 to 5. It's like I'm so much more mobile and all over the place. It'd be the same 9 to 5. You know, you get a bigger city like that, you have more experience. That means you probably earn 1 week of vacation a year. So I invest for 6 years and I get that 1 week of vacation. And, you know, all the pay is going out. Anyway, you used to get like $1 million being an anchor for Houston. Now you might get $150,000. So it's not, you know, this has been a godsend for me. It's been so much more fun. Now, you know, I make something similar to what somebody working with DoorDash 5 days a week would make. It's not a lot, but it's still something cool. My goal is to really make someday a middle class living with it, or even lower middle class. I'm making like a minimum wage. I'm making an Arkansas minimum wage with it. It'd be cool to make more of a, you know, one could dream. I'm sure that might be 3 or 4 years or something, if it ever gets there. Might be more. Yeah, I guess this probably is more than 2 miles. We have 20-day holiday. Yeah, Australia is better too. We have 20-day holidays per year in Australia. America is behind the 8 ball with workers' rights, etc. Exactly. Because streamers are outperforming legacy media. Yeah, and there's just no future. In the only future legacy media is if you're really good at just shutting up and parroting. You know, and that's a bigger thing too. Compared to whom am I being compared to? Because, you know, it's like to some people, Megyn Kelly is a journalist. To some, she's biased crap. To some people, David Pakman is a journalist. To some, he is a corporate IPAC shill, as he likes to say, IPAC. You know, so there's like who, like, I guess the straight up journalists these days. I mean, I guess you say like David Muir. Nobody really watched, or Lester Holt, I suppose. You know, they're almost not a thing anymore. No, I don't think that's a good thing, but I'm like, what, you know, it's a different format. I know a few folks who use carding in their life. Word Quebecois can be a little bougie snooty, but I love my Canuckies. Parts of it, Montreal Quebecois is snooty, but my God, you go to like Trois-Rivières, and it's like, how did all these rednecks from Ohio get into this city and start speaking French? And I'm like, I'm in rural Ohio. Like, it's the same shit. And even I remember I saw a poster for like a monster truck rally, and I'm like, I love this. These are American. These are the most American French people I've ever seen. And it was the most like rundown redneck. I loved him. Like, this is true Quebecois. The real Quebecois are not fancy people. Pro tip: if you want your autistic friends to get sarcasm in text, say what you say, then go /sar tone indication. Very helpful. I like that. Yes, right. Do the little sarcasm /line type thing. I'm glad you got fired now. All of us have been introduced to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, thank you. That's very sweet. I'm glad you're a supporter of mine. Nice to see. That was their big argument. I should have never been fired in the first place. I can't believe they gave me this opportunity. Yada, 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 yada. Oh, look, he's still walking. Funny. Everyone in Nordic has 6-week paid vacation. Yeah. It's a pretty downtown. I like this courthouse here. Gen X, you've had to let me know a time or two, and I didn't get the sarcasm. Gen X's are big on that. I don't get sarcasm that much either. I'm generally not very sarcastic and think it's kind of rude. Because streamers are outperforming legacy media. Heard that. Legacy and cable shows are virtually dead anyway. Yeah, I mean, you know, what was the final nail in the coffin was like Barry Weiss. I mean, that's the irony, right? Like, I mean, not that has anything to do with me, but you know, there is, like, even CBS has been hijacked by Israel, essentially, with Barry Weiss. I mean, CBS got hijacked to be an Israel talking point for all intents and purposes. But fair point. Hey, Foxy Woxy, nice to have you. Dog is enjoying today. It's a lot of wind, which the dog likes. He's got that thick fur he likes when it blows through his hair. It can be funny too, yes. I'm American, but my people are places called Rivière in Quebec. That one I don't know. That must be small as hell. Someday when it's warm and I have all the time in the world, I'll go traveling through some of those old Quebec villages, old French villages. Although it's sure shit hard to get around. So, hey, I took French in school, but I really don't speak it. And I speak much better Spanish than I speak French. Much better. Like, I could get around easy in a Spanish-speaking country, but not in a French one. Where are you today? We're in Paris. Paris. Yeah, we're in Paris, dude. Paris, Texas. We're slowly heading back home to New York. It'll take a long time. We'll probably take about a solid 3 weeks, month to do it, I would say. And we're taking this very slow route, which is off the interstate. So it's going to be a lot more nature, a lot more isolated areas. I have a little house in the middle of the forest, which is nice. And then I have another like cabin tomorrow. So it's nice. This is like, usually I'm somewhat rushed because I have to cover, you know, I have to stay along the cities, along the interstate to be on time for stuff. But there's not too much of a ticking clock coming back, which is nice. Weiss has destroyed the Weiss has destroyed the journalistic integrity of CNN, CBS. But yeah, she's so incompetent. Yeah. Come to Toronto. Oh, well, I've been in Toronto a bunch. I love Toronto. I'll screenshot add me on Instagram or shoot me an email. My Instagram is Dodge Landesman. Just my name. Now my email is dodge.landesman@gmail.com. Yeah, I love Toronto. If I'm in New York for a while, I try to get to Toronto with the dog for a little escape because it's a little cooler. Is Olivia Chow running? Yeah, she's running. Nobody really cares about that election though. And John Tory was going to run, but decided not to run. Does she have any? Is anybody even running against Olivia Chow? Or Olivia? She deserved that one. I'm not going to go on a diatribe about Canadian politics, but you know, Doug Ford used like a cartoon saying she's a communist, and like saying, "I do this for you, Chairman Layton." You know, Jack Layton was her ex-husband, or not ex-husband. She's widowed to Jack Layton. But yeah, I love Toronto. Toronto's great. I didn't know you were Toronto. We'll give you the Scientology tour. In Denver, I knew that. You're out. Where in Toronto? What? So you are in the GTA. Are you in Markham? Are you in, how do you say this? Mississauga? Mississauga? Are you in Hamilton? Are you in, I've been all around. We did like a little lake trip where we did all the smaller GTA cities, which is nice. Great Indian food, unsurprisingly. Her husband, yes, right. Her husband was NTP, right? He was the leader of the NTP, I believe. We'll see the future, what their future is. Love the French, love the way they protest. I hate Doug Ford. Sorry about the caps. Yeah, he's good at being very duplicitous. But there have been mass cuts to healthcare and education, public education, union rights in Ontario. And it's funny, he's trying to portray himself as just kind of like almost left conservative, but not really. You have done your Toronto work. Oh, yeah. I've been in Toronto probably seven times I've been in Toronto. Yeah, it's like it feels a lot like New York, but it's like cleaner. And the suburbs are like a little closer, but it feels a lot. It's, I say there are only 3 cities where you could stay among the skyscrapers and have a full day walking and not have easy access to like the suburban residential part, and it's Chicago, New York City, and Toronto. Those are the only 3 that are like that. Where like it feels like the buildings are kind of endless in the downtown. The downtown is its own city unto itself, right? It's like a lot of, even Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, the downtown is just a little neighborhood versus New York, Chicago, well, yeah, downtown is like all Manhattan or half of Manhattan. New York, Chicago, Toronto is like the skyscrapers feel like their own city. Hey, Nikki, nice to have you. Thank you for all your nice comments. Thanks for thinking I'm cute too. That's very nice of you. I'll probably be in Ohio because I'm going to cover the election, the gubernatorial election, which I think might be closer than people think, and also the Senate election because I think a lot of people like Sherrod Brown. A lot of people like Vivek Ramaswamy. Both of those, I think, both of those people get some interesting attention. So, if I'm in Ohio, hit me up. My Instagram is Dodge Landesman, DODGELANDESMAN. I liked everywhere I went in Canada. Yeah, me too. It's a beautiful country. I've been to 6 provinces, so I've seen the country pretty extensively. I haven't been to the Far East. It's what I call the Far East, like Nova Scotia. I'd like to go to Halifax and St. John's in Nova Scotia. And all that. Hey, Tricky Trixie, nice to have you. You might have an opportunity to cover anti-war protests here soon. Yeah. I mean, I think there's going to be some reaction to Iran. I should probably find like a city with some Iranian population, which might only be New York and LA, but in Chicago, but there might be some others. So Dodge, moving to Mexico. Oh yeah, you asked me, what's your favorite place because you've traveled all around. Cool, you're moving to Mexico. Yeah, you asked me what's your favorite place in Mexico. Favorite, I really like Guanajuato, which is a small city, I would say. It's kind of a college city. It's near San Miguel de Allende, or as some people call San Miguel de Gringo, which is more of a famous, like, rich American spot that Americans kind of go and retire. And Guanajuato, I think, is a livelier and even more aesthetically prettier version of it. It's younger. It's much younger. I think it looks like Rome. And it's beautiful. It's a city winding the mountains with this old colonial architecture. And I'd say Guanajuato might be probably my favorite. They have some unique foods too, which are cool. People say it's dangerous. It's a big city, but Morelia, Michoacan is probably one of my favorites. I really like. It's funny. A lot of the favorite places are quite dangerous. Morelia, I thought was stunning, and kind of has the most amount of architectural buildings condensed into one, especially for a big city. And Zacatecas is also a big favorite of mine, which is also known to be very dangerous. Although I felt safe in all of these places. So, I mean, the thing about safety in Mexico is, like, if you're a tourist, you won't really get affected by it. East Coast is amazing. Prince Edward Island, yeah, PEI, tiny PEI, tiny little province. I've been wanting to go to PEI as well. How's the dog? He's good. He's enjoying himself. He's going for a long walk. Been walking for almost an hour. He missed me. He was very excited when I picked him up. Thank you for asking. Some of the skyscrapers, you can live there and not even come out. Yeah. Save everything in the building. Yeah, especially Toronto. I heard that Toronto more so. And Minneapolis is like that too, where they have like catwalks between the buildings because it's so damn cold in the winter that you can't go outside. You in Paris, Texas, Tricky. Yep. What's up, C. Irwin? Nice to have you. Dodge is a ginger version of Burt Reynolds. I'll take that. I like that. What is it? I love him on Celebrity Jeopardy. Hey, your mom, Trebek. Never felt unsafe in Mexico. Yeah. But I feel unsafe in the U.S. every day. Yeah. Wait a minute. Is there a minion here? Are they going to get in trouble? I don't know. Everybody's all right in this chat right now, I believe. Are you coming back towards 35? I don't know. See, this is a weird generational thing. It's like if you're part of a younger generation, like, I don't know highway names. Like, maybe a few here and there, but most of them I don't. I don't know the names of them. So I don't know what this. I know this is not near an interstate. It's a state highway. Maybe it's 35. I'm across the river from Minneapolis. Oh, cool. Are you in Hudson? Is that what it's called? Hudson, Wisconsin? If I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty area over there. Looking at Chicago, yeah. Looking at what else. Subscribe, says Robot Noodles. Thank you, Robot. Ooh, I wonder if you're gonna have a Buc-ee's on your travel. Is Buc-ee's that, I keep passing them. I've never stopped at a Buc-ee's. Are they really that good? Is like the brisket really that good? I've always done like, I usually do Love's because Love's is closer to a city versus Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's are always like in the middle of nowhere. And my basic theory is I'm never gonna stop. Like if I'm traveling, I'm not gonna, like, there's a Buc-ee's near where I lived, I'd stop and eat at Buc-ee's or get things from Buc-ee's. But the problem is if you're traveling new places and there are other restaurants, it could be the best gas station in the world, but it's still a gas station. And a mom and pop restaurant is gonna be better than a gas station. And a mom and pop restaurant is always better than chains. So anytime there's a Buc-ee's, there's, family-owned place with fried catfish. And I'd rather eat there. But talk to me when I go north. Well, they don't, do they have Buc-ee's in the north? The irony is Buc-ee's are only at locations where the food is good. If Buc-ee's were in Wyoming, where the food isn't that good, then I'd probably go to Buc-ee's. Yeah, Eau Claire is beautiful, yeah. Have you done Wawa in New Jersey? I mean, I could go on a whole diatribe about my thoughts on the different, gas station plus stores. I have been to Wawa. They do have good sandwiches. Their fountain sodas are always really good because they use the new ones. I think they're overrated and overpriced, and they get your order wrong half the time, and you have to wait forever to get it. And they just really don't care. I think Sheetz is way better than Wawa. And I know people in New Jersey swear by Wawa, but I usually skip it. I rarely, like, I'll eat at Sheetz, but I won't eat Wawa that much. And then Royal Farms is probably the best. That's Maryland. They have amazing fried chicken. So they're not all created equal. Buc-ee's is like a rite of passage. It is, I mean, that's the thing, right? I have to go just to say I've gone. I'm sure the dog likes pulled pork, I'm sure. Although the dog he'll eat cooked food or food from restaurants, but he won't eat processed, like, junk food as much. Maybe it's not cooked well enough for him or something. He's very spoiled. But there's a chance he wouldn't even eat the Buc-ee's stuff because it's processed. Homemade fudge, yeah, that's good. Big fudge fan. Spent summer in Champaign, Illinois, and Chicago, interning for a record label there. How cool! So I believe that Gen X went on to a lot of shows. Pissed off Billy Corgan at one of them. Smashing Pumpkins. You ever see that diatribe with Howard Stern being like, "Oh, we have to get more celebrities. Like we got Billy Corgan. What a huge deal." I'm like, Billy, really? The dude from Smashing Pumpkins? I don't think so. Cumberland Farms, I like. Cumberland Farms battles it out with Stewart's shops. I like Cumberland Farms better because they have a fountain. Stewart's does not. But yeah, Cumberland is near where my mom's house is. We have a speedway in Cumberland Farms. Dodge is easy. Odd number highway traveled north-south. Oh, interesting. Even numbers travel east-west. The higher the number, the further the south. So we're going more east before we go north. So I'm going to do very rural Arkansas, and then I'm going to cover the thing in Hot Springs. I mean, in Little Rock. We'll probably stay in Hot Springs before. And then from Arkansas, probably Memphis, and then Memphis will probably go directly north. But I'm not Memphis, probably Memphis, St. Louis. So anywhere super, that's like large enough and cheap. Well, Memphis is, people forget how big Memphis is. Memphis still is like 600,000 people, which is hard to imagine. Memphis, if you want to see like systemic racism, try driving around anywhere in the city in Memphis. Like literally the worst, most destructive roads. Like it's like, oh, okay, there's a high population of black residents, therefore we will not maintain a single lane, anything, and everything's like, your car will just be constantly like thrashing into the ground. It's like, almost a scary experience. You don't know how damaged your car is going to get driving in that fucking city, man. Ugh. But it's so damn cheap. You could also rent a house for on Airbnb for $60 a night. So there are some trade-offs. Yeah, they did. They redlined the hell out of that place. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I guess there are some nicer places out, or well-to-do places, not nicer, but well-to-do places outside of the city core. But I always stay in the city core, and the reason I stay in the city core is because that's the most walkable area, and I like having to open the door, and then the dog can just walk on. He could find a grid that he could walk on. Dang, that's cheap. Yeah, from Arkansas. Tennessee has a bigotry issue as a whole. Yeah, true that. True that. For some. This is an interesting little neck of the woods. I like some of the trees here. See, you see that it does feel different once you get more east. Start seeing the pines. I don't know if you can see a little purple forsythias in the background. That's pretty. This is a little more of a modern house, but start seeing the pines and the hanging moss trees. Oh shit, he saw a cat. Some parts of North Carolina are like that, and other parts are really cool. Yeah, no, we've been all around North Carolina has such a division: east, low country versus, I guess, western. Low country, South Carolina, but flat country, I guess, versus this. I like the front of this house. Ain't this fun? Not creepy. What's next? Give him your shoe. He'll make a signal if he wants to get my shoe. He probably won't, because shoe is like if he's less active, he wants an activity. This is a down and out place. But if he's been active all day, he probably wants to use a shoe. Always want to go to NOLA. Me too. I've been to NOLA twice. I'd like the dog to go to New Orleans, but the problem is it's one of those out of the way cities where it's never really along the way to anything else. You got to detour 40 minutes south to get to New Orleans. It's like Detroit in that way. Detroit and Buffalo are similar. Well, Buffalo at least is a feeder to Canada. So Buffalo is more, it's like, all right, I'm doing a long trip in Canada, hang out in Buffalo and stop in Buffalo for a while. But New Orleans is an out of the way city. And someday when we have more time, we'll do the out of the way cities. But we'll do some out of the way. Cincinnati's kind of out of the way city that we'll do. We'll do a lot of West Virginia on this trip, probably. I love West Virginia. I lived there for 2 years, wild times. Love that place. Won't come back until the U.S. settles down. Yeah, I don't blame you for that. New Orleans is a cool place to live. Badass. Watch Arctic Fox. Thank you, Amy. I'll check out Arctic Fox. Yes, look up Arctic Fox True Crime. Good idea. Potholes are that big, you can rent one to live in it. Ain't that true? Ain't that the truth? Memphis is a murder capital. I've heard that. Doesn't, it's interesting, like all these dangerous neighborhoods, dangerous areas are not, like once you walk, or if you walk around them, they're really not that dangerous. I'm sure there's a lot of mutually assured destruction, interaction, gang stuff, but it rarely ever spills over. I think people have this perception that like the most dangerous neighborhoods, you step outside of your door and somebody's there to mug you, or you step outside of your door and you hear gunshots. And that's not really. Occasionally I'll hear gunshots like from the distance, but that's the extent of it. I've never seen, like, I've gone to the worst of the most dangerous cities. And I've never seen like people doing crime, really. Ever. People fighting, I've seen some people fighting here and there. The thing that happens if you really stick out along clusters in really impoverished neighborhoods, people annoy you in the capacity of which they see you and they're constantly asking you. It's like you're the dad, right? You're the one white guy there and you look different, and so you're like the hood's dad. Like everybody's like, can I get $1 for that soda? Can I get this cigarette? And it's like that. That's the worst of it. It's like it's annoying. And that's not even most places. That's like if you're across the street from a gas station and everybody's hanging at that gas station and they've seen you walking into the gas station. But other than that, I mean, I like less well-off neighborhoods because they're more in a grid. They're more walkable. They're more sidewalks. The street, the convenience store is relatively close. You could walk to a restaurant. being from New York, I've always been a grid guy. That's where I stay, unless I'm saying something very rural. I like to stay at somewhere with a grid, and usually the places with the grids are the most dangerous areas, ostensibly. And then, of course, things get gentrified naturally. Some cities never get, like Memphis. I don't think Memphis is ever going to get gentrified. Like Buffalo, a lot of those areas, Dallas, Midtown Dallas is cool. I was staying in Midtown. That was a really cool mix, of black residents who have been there for a while and are still able to be there, and some artists and stuff. But it was like a peaceful, like, cohabitation of all of it, which is nice. Are you headed towards Texarkana? No, I'm north of Texarkana. I was thinking about Texarkana. So you got a lot of lakes and stuff. And I know some people in Shreveport, just east of that, but cooler weather than a dog. I'm going north before anything else. Let us have weed, that's BS. Amen. It's an issue that I'm surrounded by legal states. Yeah. So Paris, Texas. Hey, yes, we're in Paris, Texas. Clearly, it's just not Paris. I think it's prettier than Paris. It has more grass. I like it a lot better. Weed should be legal everywhere. I agree with that. Dodge reminding you where you are. Maybe dog gets off a private prop. Dodge, yeah. Always good to be aware. For sure. Big alcohol lobbyists, yeah. I think eventually weed will be fully legal. It's interesting in Texas. You get a lot of places, say the THCA thing, and Governor Abbott vetoed a bill. You got some beef dogs with beef. Lots of people don't care about weed. Yeah, no. Not at all. But yeah, in Texas, he could get, a lot of states, he get the THCA thing. Because they say it, like, transforms into weed once you light it. But before that, it's technically not weed, and it has a less percentage. And Abbott did actually, the governor of Texas, surprisingly, vetoed a bill to close that loophole. So, amazingly, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but respects for Greg Abbott for this one thing. No rain, you can't have nice things, it's dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, well, I can't remember what might be legalized this year. Every year, at least one new state votes to legalize it. But there have been states that have voted it down, right? Like Florida voted it down, but Florida, that's because you had to have had like 60% and it got 58. And Arkansas voted it down, which is, I was surprised by that. And Oklahoma voted it down. But go figure, Missouri voted to accept it. But I was especially surprised with Oklahoma. I mean, Arkansas I can understand a little more because it's an older, more traditional population. But Oklahoma's has two decent urban centers and is a big college heavy state. There's some states that have a lot of college towns and some states that don't. And Oklahoma is one of those college heavy places. So I was surprised that Oklahoma rejected it, but oh well. Alcohol kills 100,000 of years, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Oklahoma is medical. Medical doesn't matter for me, but yes, it is medical. And pretty good medical. I mean, there's no restrictions on it. Oh, great. I don't think it'll be legal everywhere either. I do. Because eventually it's going to be a president, like Trudeau did that in Canada. He's like, you know what, screw it, it's all legal. So eventually a president will issue an executive order just saying it's all legal. I don't drink, do weed, or cigarettes. My problem is food. I'm a food addict. Hey, better than cigarettes. Oh, come on. This dog is going to leave this cat alone, and the cat, taunted him. Ugh. The dog saw the cat, stared at him, and then left, and then the cat decided to follow him to post up. Legal and tax the shit out of it like beer and cigarettes. How often can the vote be revisited to state? That's a good question. I think probably every year if they wanted to, but it's a process to get all of it. It's a process to get it all on ballot. I gotta yell at this dog and probably do a noise for my YouTube. Yeah, I am gonna yell at you. I'm gonna yell at you. No, no. He's like, no, this will continue. And he'll do this for like 30 minutes, man. Mexican standoff, yes. These Mexican standoffs, man, he's never gotten a cat, well, not once. I wouldn't let him. But sometimes these things can last like 20 minutes. Dodge saw takes it. You're funny, Richard Worse. It's a funny comment. I think he's more successful than I am at that. Gen X YEP using for my ADHD. Hey, I got ADHD too. Social anxiety, EDs, pain, etc. for decades. I mostly use oils, although I miss smoking. Smoking is a nice pleasure. Thanks for the walk, Dodge. See you next one. Heading out. Bye. All Rambles. TO, I assume for Toronto. Thank you for all your support. It really means a lot. I've seen a lot of your comments before. And, thanks for joining me. I feel privileged to have you as a friend. Take care. Enjoy. Is it sunset happening where you are? No, it's 8:30. It must be evening. Pure black where you're at. Is it starting to get warmer in Toronto? I'm wondering what I'm going to look up the weather for Toronto after I sign off. My guess is today is a high of 43 degrees. That's going to be my guess. Constant pain with fibromyalgia. I forgot how to say that, but that's tough. I'm sorry with the back situation. I dated somebody with that, and it was a huge. It's just completely screwed her life. She could barely function. It's like somebody's like eating your back every day. All right, guys. Love you all. Thank you.